How to make money in 60 days on Airbnb. We'll tell you what every new host is worried about when they're listing their property on Airbnb.
And then we'll tell you what you should be worried about.
What if they ruin my hand towels, Annette?
What if they bring a dog?
Oh my God, they said they were bringing 4 people and I saw a 5th person walk in.
And all the worst case scenarios.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant. And together we are
Thanks for visiting.
We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over $1.5 million year over year.
And supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental.
Step 1, running your numbers. We call it your cost per reservation, CPR. It'll be life into your short-term rental business, but Annette's gonna explain what that actually means.
Your cost per reservation, that's what you are giving the guest. That is your product. It's the overnight stay. And you need to understand what it costs to have someone stay in your home overnight. And you're gonna have 2 expenses here. The 2 expenses that you need to know are your fixed expenses and your variable expenses. Let's go over your fixed expenses first. And this should be something that, get out a pen and paper, know these numbers. This is gonna be very important. These fixed expenses are things that do not change whether you will have 1 reservation, 10 reservations, or 100 reservations. Those would be your mortgage, your homeowners association fees, your taxes, your insurance. These are things that are fixed and January, February, March, April, May, they are not moving. But then you have your variable expenses. And these variable expenses are going to change depending on the amount of reservations that you have. So let's get into some of those variables. Obviously, your gas and electric is going to fluctuate depending on how many guests you have, how many lights they're turning on, how much water they're using. Also, things like toilet paper, paper towels, your coffee, your tea. Those are things that are gonna fluctuate each and every month. How many times are you washing the sheets, the towels? You have some of those things that are gonna be replaced also. So those are things that are gonna vary every month depending on how many reservations you are having in that month.
And don't forget about outside expenses, things like what it costs to maintain and turn over your hot tub. Maybe you offer chopped wood for your fireplace. There are tons, the grill, maybe you offer propane. Like, are these things that you are providing for the guest and it's baked into the reservation cost? Is this something that you line item to your guests and have them pay for it? Figure all these things out, but don't get analysis paralysis. If you're like, I don't know how much I'm spending on toilet paper, go on Amazon right now, see how much, the Amazon brand or whatever 2-3 ply toilet paper that you want to use in your short-term rental, see how much it's selling for right now and just jot it down.
Now that you have your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, those outside creeping expenses that could get you in trouble, what we want you to do is take all of them, put that in a monthly average, and then you're gonna divide it into a daily average. That is going to be the cost per reservation. It's what is it costing you to have that reservation per day? And that's gonna help you settle in and understand your numbers when we have you get your daily rate. Strategically list your property on Airbnb.
We have dedicated so much of our content here on YouTube because this stuff is so important. They're basic practices, but the reason why we keep hitting after them is because we still see incredible hosts making these basic mistakes. You have to get professional photos up as soon as possible.
You need to pay for these photos. It's not you with your iPhone, and this will make such a big difference.
The cutesy listing titles, whether it's cutesy listing titles that really don't make sense to anyone but you because you think it's adorable, or the titles that are like 2BX NW Cabin 1. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, the title of the property absolutely matters, and you need to think about how it's gonna be perceived and understood by your potential guests to get them to book.
Your host profile is just as important as your property. People wanna know who they're staying with. And with all of the things that are in the news from time to time with Airbnb that aren't the best, you wanna make sure that you're telling your potential guest who you are, why they should stay with you, and why you're trustworthy.
Don't be mad at me because I know what you're gonna say, like, these descriptions that you're writing that are like novels and they have all these like adjectives and they're very like romantic and beautiful, and it's just like, put yourself in your potential guest shoes, and they're looking at different properties. They've got Cousin Sue and Uncle Bob giving, like, you need to get to it in the description saying exactly what you get by staying there. And when you have these big paragraphs that go on and on and on about things that they don't even know what you're saying because they're just glossing over it. The cutesy descriptions, the lengthy descriptions are killing your chances on making money in the first 60 days.
We know house rules are important, but you do not want to come across as a passive-aggressive host that is like, do they really want me staying in their house? So you need to be very, very careful in your house rules. You need to take all of these tips, go back through, look at your listing, and remember, this is the way that you are selling your property to your potential guest.
Want to go deeper into making your listing the best? Check out our video for our top 7 tips on rocking out your Airbnb listing.
TFB Pro Tip. We know you're going to be super excited to get those first reservations when you go live, but you have to make sure those first 3 guests, you are going so far above and beyond. You want to ensure that you are getting those 5-star reviews. They are always important during your Airbnb journey, but those first 3 are very, very important because if you don't get them out of the gate, Airbnb is going to flag you like maybe this isn't a good host and they're going to tank your rank. So 5-star reviews right out of the gate.
Let's get to the good stuff. Here's how you're going to make your money.
We know you are just getting started, but this is where we see so many hosts underpriced because they don't have that confidence yet. But you're here watching this video. We are going to help you. This is where you absolutely need dynamic pricing. You need to add this to your listing because it is going to help you understand what your market rate can command and what your competition is doing. Please, if you take anything away from this video, you want to make sure to install dynamic pricing software.
We use Price Labs. Check it out in the show notes below and join today. We can go on and on about dynamic pricing forever in this video, but we won't because we already made a video all about it. So go ahead and check out the biggest pricing mistakes that hosts make and don't make them.
Track every reservation that comes in and the amount of money of that reservation. Here's the deal. Everything is set up so automated. You're going to get these amazing reports. They're just going to come in through Airbnb, but you want to have that personal touch to it. You want to know your guest's name. You want to know why they're coming to town. You really want to understand like the length of their stay, what their nightly rate was for that stay, and a couple of reasons why. Number 1, you need to know your numbers. And the more you can get comfortable and understand them, the quicker you're going to know what your profit is. Secondarily, as you grow, because you're going to be an amazing host, you're going to want to buy more properties because you're bringing in so much profit. You're going to want to know those guests so you can invite them back. You're going to understand what they spent the first time. We were just talking to one of our hosts in our mastermind yesterday, and she has such a large percentage of her guests coming back year after year, and she's not having to discount. She's actually charging more and more for them, and she has that peace of mind with those guests coming back again and again. So listen, know your numbers, know your guest, and you will be maximum profitable.
We want you to trust our process. We've been doing this for a very long time, and we understand you're going to be hearing tips from other resources, and that's great, but we just don't want you doing things that are a waste of time, like going in there and like changing a word in your listing description or moving photos around without having any thought behind it. Just track your numbers, track what people are seeing in their listing, how soon are you getting booking, what is your length of stay, what's the booking window. Know those things before you make any changes so that you have strategy behind everything you do with your listing.
Get your calendars out and put down that weekly finance meeting. This is something we've just seen hosts over and over and over again get so busy and they postpone looking at their numbers. And you want to just already have it on your calendar. Look at your numbers each week because you need to understand what those numbers look like. Can you be charging more? What is your peak season? Are you going to be capable to buy another property? But the way to do this is to just get that finance meeting on your calendar. Make sure that make sure that the deposits you got are actually coming into your bank account. You want to double check everything. You want to reconcile that. So have these finance meetings on the calendar.
Later on in your hosting journey, you should absolutely comb your expenses or go into your listing and seeing what you can upgrade. Like, should you go from a queen to a king? Should you find cheaper toilet paper? Should you maybe adjust your amenities so it's more exciting for your guests? Those are all very important things to tweak. But in your first 60 days, we want you to make your listing an absolute banger. Make sure those first 3 reviews are not only 5-star reviews, but those guests are raving about their stay in their reviews with you, and trust the process. Keep it simple.
If we've got you excited to know your numbers, make sure to download our worksheet. You can find it in the show notes.
You've come this far in this video, keep your education going. Go ahead and watch that video about the pricing mistakes and how to create an awesome listing. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. With that, I am Sarah Caracan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.